Hello, family. God bless everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Pray everyone is doing well. We will pick up in Jasher, the book of Jasher, chapter 21. And it was at that time, at the end of a year and 4 months of Abraham's dwelling in the land of the Philistines in Gerar, that Elohim visited Sarah, and the Lord remembered her. And she conceived and gave birth to a son to Abraham. And Abraham called the name of the son which was born to him, which Sarah gave birth to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac at 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded Abraham to do to his offspring after him. And Abraham was 100 and Sarah 90 years old when Isaac was born to them. And the child grew up, and he was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. And Shem and Eber and all the great people of the land, and Abimelech, king of the Philistines, and his servants, and Phicol, the captain of his host, came to eat and drink and rejoice at the feast which Abraham made on the day of his son Isaac's being weaned. Also Terah, the father of Abraham, and Nahor, his brother, came from Haran, they and all belonging to them, for they greatly rejoiced on hearing that a son had been born to Sarah. And they came to Abraham, and they ate and drank at the feast which Abraham made on the day of Isaac's being weaned. And Terah and Nahor rejoiced with Abraham, and they remained with him many days in the land of the Philistines. At the same time, Serug, the son of Reu, died in the first year of the birth of Isaac, son of Abraham. And all the days of Serug were 239 years, and he died. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, was grown up in those days. He was 14 years old when Sarah gave birth to Isaac, to Abraham. And Elohim was with Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and he grew up, and he learned to use the bow and became an archer. And when Isaac was 5 years old, he was sitting with Ishmael at the door of the tent. And Ishmael came to Isaac and seated himself opposite to him. And he took the bow and drew it and put the arrow in it and intended to kill Isaac. And Sarah saw the act which Ishmael desired to do to her son Isaac, and it grieved her greatly on account of her son. And she sent for Abraham and said to him, "Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for her son shall not be heir with my son. For thus did he seek to do to him this day." And Abraham listened to the voice of Sarah. And he rose up early in the morning, and he took 12 loaves and a bottle of water, which he gave to Hagar, and sent her away with her son. And Hagar went with her son to the wilderness. And they lived in the wilderness of Paran with the inhabitants of the wilderness. And Ishmael was an archer, and he lived in the wilderness a long time. And he and his mother afterward went to the land of Egypt, and they lived there. And Hagar took a wife for her son from Egypt, and her name was Meribah. And the wife of Ishmael conceived and gave birth to 4 sons and 2 daughters. And Ishmael and his mother and his wife and children afterward went and returned to the wilderness. And they made themselves tents in the wilderness, in which they lived. And they continued to travel and then to rest monthly and yearly. And Elohim gave Ishmael flocks and herds and tents on account of Abraham his father. And the man increased in cattle. And Ishmael lived in deserts and in tents, traveling and resting for a long time. And he did not see the face of his father. And in some time after, Abraham said to Sarah, his wife, I will go and see my son Ishmael, for I have a desire to see him, for I have not seen him for a long time. And Abraham rode on one of his camels to the wilderness to seek his son Ishmael, for he heard that he was dwelling in a tent in the wilderness with all belonging to him. And Abraham went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and he found the wife of Ishmael sitting in the tent with her children. And Ishmael, her husband, and his mother were not with them. And Abraham asked the wife of Ishmael, saying, Where has Ishmael gone? And she said, He has gone to the field to hunt. And Abraham was still mounted on the camel, for he would not get off to the ground, as he had sworn to his wife Sarah that he would not get off from the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, My daughter, give me a little water that I may drink, for I am fatigued from the journey. And Ishmael's wife answered and said to Abraham, We have neither water nor bread. And she continued sitting in the tent and did not notice Abraham, neither did she ask him who he was. But she was beating her children in the tent, and she was cursing them. And she also cursed her husband Ishmael, and approached him. And Abraham heard the words of Ishmael's wife to her children, and he was very angry and displeased. And Abraham called to the woman to come out to him from the tent. And the woman came and stood opposite to Abraham, for Abraham was still mounted on the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, When your husband Ishmael returns home, say these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistines came here to seek you, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was, and seeing you wert not here, he spoke to me and said, When Ishmael your husband returns, tell him thus did this man say, When you come home, put away this nail of the tent which you have placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Abraham finished his instructions to the woman, and he turned and went off on the camel homeward. And after that, Ishmael came from the chase, he and his mother, and returned to the tent. And his wife spoke these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistines came to see you, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was, and seeing you were not at home, he said to me, When your husband comes home, tell him, Thus says the old man, put away the nail of the tent which you have placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Ishmael heard the words of his wife, and he knew that it was his father, and that his wife did not honor him. And Ishmael understood his father's words that he had spoken to his wife. And Ishmael listened to the voice of his father. And Ishmael cast off that woman, and she went away. And Ishmael afterward went to the land of Canaan, and he took another wife, and he brought her to his tent, to the place where he then lived. And at the end of 3 years, Abraham said, I will go again and see Ishmael, my son, for I have not seen him for a long time. And he rode on his camel and went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and his wife came out of the tent, and she said, He is not here, my lord, for he has gone to hunt in the fields and to feed the camels. And the woman said to Abraham, Turn in, my lord, into the tent, and eat a morsel of bread, for your soul must be wearied on account of the journey. And Abraham said to her, I will not stop, for I am in haste to continue my journey. But give me a little water to drink, for I have thirst. And the woman hurried and ran into the tent, and she brought out water and bread to Abraham, which she placed before him, and she urged him to eat. And he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted, and he blessed his son Ishmael. And he finished his meal, and he blessed the Lord. And he said to Ishmael's wife, When Ishmael comes home, say these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistines came here and asked for you, and you were not here. And I brought him out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me, When Ishmael your husband comes home, say to him, The nail of the tent which you have is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Abraham finished commanding the woman, and he rode off to his home to the land of the Philistines. And when Ishmael came to his tent, his wife went forth to meet him with joy and a cheerful heart. And she said to him, An old man came here from the land of the Philistines, and thus was his appearance. And he asked after you, and you were not here. So I brought out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me, When Ishmael your husband comes home, say to him, The nail of the tent which you have is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Ishmael knew that it was his father, and that his wife had honored him, and the Lord blessed Ishmael. Chapter 22. And Ishmael then rose up and took his wife and his children and his cattle and all belonging to him. And he journeyed from there, and he went to his father in the land of the Philistines. And Abraham related to Ishmael his son the transaction with the first wife that Ishmael took, according to what she did. And Ishmael and his children lived with Abraham many days in that land. And Abraham lived in the land of the Philistines a long time. And the days increased and reached 26 years. And after that, Abraham with his servants and all belonging to him went from the land of the Philistines and removed to a great distance. And they came near to Hebron, and they remained there. And the servants of Abraham dug wells of water. And Abraham and all belonging to him lived by the water. And the servants of Abimelech, king of the Philistines, heard the report that Abraham's servants had dug wells of water in the borders of the land. And they came and quarreled with the servants of Abraham, and they robbed them of the great well which they had dug. And Abimelech, king of the Philistines, heard of this affair, and he, with Phicol, the captain of his host, and 20 of his men, came to Abraham. And Abimelech spoke to Abraham concerning his servants, and Abraham rebuked Abimelech concerning the well of which his servants had robbed him. And Abimelech said to Abraham, "As the Lord lives, who created the whole earth, I did not hear of the act which my servants did to your servants until this day." And Abraham took 7 ewe lambs and gave them to Abimelech, saying, "Take these, I pray you, from my hands, that it may be a testimony for me that I dug this well." And Abimelech took the 7 ewe lambs with Abraham, which Abraham had given to him, for he had also given him cattle and herds in abundance. And Abimelech swore to Abraham concerning the well. Therefore he called that well Beersheba. For there they both swore concerning it. And they both made a covenant in Beersheba. And Abimelech rose up with Phicol, the captain of his host, and all his men, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. And Abraham and all belonging to him lived in Beersheba, and he was in that land a long time. And Abraham planted a large grove in Beersheba, and he made to it 4 gates, facing the 4 sides of the earth. And he planted a vineyard in it, so that if a traveler came to Abraham, he entered any gate which was in his road, and remained there, and ate and drank, and satisfied himself, and then departed. For the house of Abraham was always open to the sons of men that passed and repassed and impassed, who came daily to eat and drink in the house of Abraham. And any man who had hunger and came to Abraham's house, Abraham would give him bread that he might eat and drink and be satisfied. And anyone that came naked to his house, he would clothe with garments as he might choose, and give him silver and gold, and make him known to him the Lord who had created him in the earth. And this did Abraham all his life. And Abraham and his children and all belonging to him lived in Beersheba. And he pitched his tent as far as Hebron. And Abraham's brother Nahor and his father and all belonging to them lived in Haran, for they did not come with Abraham to the land of Canaan. And children were born to Nahor, which Milcah, the daughter of Haran, and sister to Sarah, Abraham's wife, gave birth to him. And these are the names of those that were born to him: Uz, Buz, Kemuel, Kesed, Chazo, Pildash, Tidlaph, and Bethuel, being 8 sons. These are the children of Milcah, which she gave birth to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And Nahor had a concubine, and her name was Reumah. And she also gave birth to Nahor, Zebach, Gashash, Ta, Ta, oh, Tashish, Gashish, Tashish, and Makah, being 4 sons. And the children that were born to Nahor were 12 sons besides his daughters, and they also had children born to them in Haran. And the children of Uz, the firstborn of Nahor, were Abi, Sharif, Gadin, Melas, and Deborah, their sister. And the sons of Buz were Barachel, Namath, Sheva, and Madanu. And the sons of Kemuel were Aram and Rechab. And the sons of Chesed were Anamelech, Meshai, Benon, and Yiphi. And the sons of Chazo were Pildash, Meki, Mechi, and Ophir. And the sons of Pildash were Arud, Chamam, Merid, and Moloch. And the sons of Tidlaph were Mushan, Cushan, and Mutzi. And the children of Bethuel were Sikar, Laban, and their sister Rebekah. These are the families of the children of Nahor that were born to them in Haran. And Aram, the son of Kemuel, and Rechab, his brother, went away from Haran, and they found a valley in the land by the river Euphrates. And they built a city there, and they called the name of the city after the name of Pethor, the son of Aram. That is Aram Naharaim to this day. And the children of Chesed also went to dwell where they could find a place. And they went and they found a valley opposite to the land of Shinar, and they lived there. And they there built themselves a city, and they called the name the city of Chesed, after the name of their father. That is the land Kasdim to this day. And Kasdim lived in that land, and they were prolific and multiplied greatly. And Terah, father of Nahor and Abraham, went and took another wife in his old age, and her name was Pelilah. And she conceived and gave birth to him a son, and he called his name Zobah. And Terah lived 25 years after he had Zobah. And Terah died in that year, that is in the 35th year of the birth of Isaac, son of Abraham. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and he was buried in Haran. Zobah, the son of Terah, lived 30 years, and he had Aram, Achlis, and Merrick. And Aram, son of Zobah, son of Terah, had 3 wives, and he had 12 sons and 3 daughters. And the Lord gave to Aram, the son of Zobah, riches and possessions, and abundance of cattle, and flocks and herds, and the man increased greatly. And Aram, the son of Zobah, and his brother, and all his household journeyed from Haran, and they went to dwell where they should find a place, for their property was too great to remain in Haran, for they could not stop in Haran together with their brothers and children of Nahor, and the children of Nahor. And Aram, the son of Zobah, went with his brothers, and they found a valley at the distance toward the eastern country, and they lived there. And they also built a city there, and they called the name thereof Aram, after the name of their eldest brother, that is Aram Zobah to this day. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, was growing up in those days. And Abraham his father taught him the way of the Lord, to know the Lord, and the Lord was with him. And when Isaac was 37 years old, Ishmael his brother was going about with him in the tent. And Ishmael boasted of himself to Isaac, saying, I was 13 years old when the Lord spoke to my father to circumcise us. And I did according to the word of the Lord, which he spoke to my father. And I gave my soul to the Lord, and I did not go contrary to his word, which he commanded my father. And Isaac answered Ishmael, saying, Why do you boast to me about this, about a little bit of your flesh, which you did take from your body, concerning which the Lord commanded you? The Lord lives, the Elohim of my father Abraham. If the Lord should say to my father, Take now your son Isaac, and bring him up an offering before me, I would not refrain, but I would joyfully accede to it. And the Lord heard the word that Isaac spoke to Ishmael, and it seemed good in the sight of the Lord. And he thought to try Abraham in this manner. And the day arrived when the sons of Elohim came and placed themselves before the Lord. And Satan also came with the sons of Elohim before the Lord. And the Lord said to Satan, Whence come you? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said to Satan, What is your word to me concerning all the children of the earth? And Satan answered the Lord and said, I have seen all the children of the earth who serve you and remember you when they inquire anything from you. And when you givest them the thing which they require from you, they sit at their ease and turn away from you, and they remember you no more. Haven't you seen Abraham, the son of Terah, who at first had no children? And he served you and erected altars to you wherever he came. And he brought up offsprings on them. And he proclaimed your name continually to all the children of the earth. And now that his son Isaac is born to him, he has forsaken you. He has made a great feast for all the inhabitants of the land, and the Lord he has forgotten. For amidst all that he has done, he brought you no offering, neither burnt offering nor peace offering, neither ox, lamb, nor goat of all that he killed on the day that his son was weaned. Even from the time of his son's birth till now, being 37 years, he built no altar before you, nor brought any offering to you. For he saw that you did give what he requested before you, and he therefore turned away from you. And the Lord said to Satan, Havest you thus considered my servant Abraham? For there is none like him on earth, a perfect and upright man before me, one that fears Elohim and avoids evil. As I live, were I to say to him, Bring up Isaac, your son, before me, he would not withhold him from me. Much more if I told him to bring up a burnt offering before me from his flock or herds. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Speak then now to Abraham as you have said, and you will see whether he will not this day go contrary to and cast aside your words. Thank you for listening, family.